A lot of folks think that you plant once in the spring and you're done for the season. We plant things every few weeks, like the cabbage. The first phase of cabbage was planted about 2 weeks ago. Another phase of cabbage going in today. The same thing is done with carrots and beets and beans and peas. They all get planted in stages, so you have them in a long period of time. And tomatoes too. There's a few stages of those. So this is Fort V potting soil from Vermont Compost. It's an organic mix. I found it to be a very good potting mix. It's much more coarse and rougher than, you know, the expensive stuff that you buy that may or may not be organic. It's got a lot of wood twigs in it, but you just work around those. It has a lot of animal byproducts in it, different manures and things that have been composted, minerals, things like that. Doesn't need any fertilizer because this is the first phase. First phase gets all its nutrition out of the seed. When you pot it up, then you add a little bit of fertilizer. And I would add ProGrow probably. Okay, so the first seeding goes into very small cells. There's about 100 cells here. It was a 200 cell tray that's been cut in half. So then I'll make a little indentation. Boom, 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 boom. Not very deep because this is red cabbage. So you're not planting very deep. Germinates very quickly. So I'm down about 1/8 of an inch, which is plenty. Okay, that went down a little deep, so I'll put a little more soil in because that didn't have as much soil in the outer corner. There, so we're all set to go. And here is red cabbage, candy red, from Johnny's. Okay, here's cabbage seeds. Spread them around on the hand, and you try for one in each one. If you get more than one in each one, it's not a big deal. You can thin it out later or plant doubles. I have good success with doubles too. You just put a little on the top, because remember the cells I pressed down below the plane. You don't want too much on there, then I'll pack it. Then what I'll do is I will set this in a tray of water and let that thoroughly saturate, and then set it off somewhere. And they'll germinate real fast. You don't want it too sopped and too wet, just enough. An important thing about these little cells is on a hot day, say 70 degrees or 60 degrees and sunny outside, you only got a few hours before these things dry out and you lose your plants. This is the potting up of the seedlings. And I found that potting them up at least once before they go out in the field and get transplanted is like giving them practice. They'll do much better if you do that than they will if you just plant them in the cell they're going out with. Alright, so here we have 2 green cabbage. This is a double. I don't mind. I'll plant a double too, because I'll just space it out a little bit more. Now you see what's happened there? That's gone into a much bigger cell, and hopefully that cell is big enough to last till the time I put it out. However, the weatherman says look for a polar vortex on the end of April, which is not good for plants that need to go out. I just pushed my finger through there. One thing I didn't do that I should have done, that it's too late now to show you, is I usually sprinkle a little ProGrow in there, because now they've gotten big enough so that the seed isn't carrying all their fertility now. So what I'll do with the rest of them is sprinkle a little ProGrow in there.